humans to have a good time with them, which, as we know, sometimes means having their way with the humans.
Yes.
I worked with Audrey and with Sookie in terms of coming up with a visual look that didn't feel like, hey, it's the Disney fairies.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be more adult, more sensual, more sort of soft-core porno fairies.
Are we gonna get to? I mean, I was gonna ask too. Are we gonna get some crazy sex scenes? Because I feel like we haven't had like a real crazy like balls to the wall. Like, I mean, I know. Joe.
Yes. I sexually eviscerate another cast member in one of the episodes coming up.
It's me.
We need more details on that. I need.
There are definitely some very hot sex scenes, and there are some wacky, what the fuck, crazy scenes. And between those two, I think all tastes will be satisfied.
Stephen, you directed an episode coming up, right? How was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I got to see Joe naked.
I think like 40 million people have seen him naked now.
No, it was fantastic, and all these guys were wonderful to work with. I was quite nervous going into it because I love them all, and I wanted them to be pleased with what I did. So it was kind of terrifying from that perspective.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a lot of fun, and I was very pleased with what we ended up with.
He did an amazing job.
Yeah. How did Stephen do? Like for the cast, did you guys? Anna, how was he?
I mean, all kidding aside, he's amazing.
Yeah. Did you guys? Did anyone else get sort of inspiration to direct after watching Stephen do it?
I want to at some point. I have no desire to direct our show. That sounds terrifying. It's so big.
It's huge.
And there's so much that goes into it. And I, was kind of like a widow for a month where I didn't see him because he was constantly prepping something or doing something or working himself into quite a fun state of sleep deprivation. But I think it really paid off. I don't know.
Sorry. No, I just think the fact that Stephen is one of the main actors on the show and has to prep an episode for 2 weeks, shoot for 2 weeks, and then edit it for 2 weeks while working almost every day as an actor on the show was just, I was blown away by it.
Can you say it all with it? Yeah.
It's really wonderful to work with. Being an actor himself, he really cares about the actors and the relationships, and you really feel, where I felt really free. We got to play around with the scenes and try things, and he came extremely prepared to set, but also ready to just throw that in the trash if it wasn't working, if we wanted to try something new on the day. And thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, I have to also say it was lovely. Stephen is someone that I'll go to with a line and say it one way and go, okay, now listen to this way. And then he'll vote. He's someone that I trust and love.
And this is not when he's directing, this is when we're acting.
Right. And so it felt like a very natural progression to have Stephen officially with the title. And it was so much fun and such enthusiasm. I just loved it.
There is a scene that was written in a particular way, and I went to all the vampires. You'll obviously see this. It's in a couple of weeks' time. It's episode 8, and I put forward an idea about a way of doing something, and that we hadn't done before. It was one of the funnest, most hilarious days that I think we've ever had on set, and it was just letting everybody play, really. It was just about letting everybody have fun and do something that we hadn't done before. And one of the funny things I just will say is watching that trailer come up and be watching it going, God, our show's crazy, isn't it? Fantastic. Oh my God, there's that bit. And then I'm looking at bits that I did, kind of going, that's my baby. It's very unusual and a kind of wonderful feeling.
Can you tease at all, like, what we'll be seeing in the episode? Or maybe what it deals with?
One of I've said this many, many times in interviews before, but I absolutely adore Sam Trammell, and he is an amazing actor. And he had one of the toughest jobs on my episode that you could possibly have, and I'm not going to tease anything other than he gets to work with another actor who I just mentioned. But to do what he did during that episode, and with such an understanding of what we needed to get, it's very, very tough stuff. And we had a laugh, didn't we, Sammy?
Yeah, it was a blast. It was really fun. I mean, to answer your question about being inspired to direct this, honestly, just to repeat again, our show is so huge, and for Steven to do pre-production while you're shooting another episode, then shoot our episode and act in it, and then do post, and then act in the next episode. I have no idea how you did that. But he came so prepared. I had a blast. I had a total blast working with you. And it was a hard episode for me, and I was a little nervous, but you made me feel comfortable.
Steven, would you do it again? Do you want to direct again?
I'd love to do it again. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I directed a couple of shorts when I was back in England, and I had my own theatre company for 10 years that I was the artistic director of. So it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I didn't think it was going to take me another 15 years before I actually did it. But I begged Alan, and he said no, and then I begged him again, and he said no. And he said, I don't do that. And so then I went back and said, can I do it? And he said no. And no. Look, he's looking very quizzical now. Yeah. No, basically it's all down to Alan, because I asked him at the end of the first season.
Yes, but Steven also did something very smart. He asked if he could shadow one of the directors for an episode from prep through shooting through post, and you did that twice, actually. And then also, I started to hear back from everybody on the crew, you know, the DPs, the ADs, about how whenever there was a problem, a lot of times you would say, well, what if we did this? And you would have the solution. And then I said, oh, it doesn't make any sense not to let him do it. After I made him suffer for 3 seasons.
That's also why we work so well together, Steve, because I often create problems and then resolve them.
Alex, apparently, this is what I heard through Twitter, a lot of people want you to be in 50 Shades of Grey.
There's a book. I gotta read that book. I haven't read the book. I haven't seen a script.
He's just lived the life.
Also spanking and...
Okay, well all I heard was that he's got a chamber in his basement or
apparently, I think he has that.
So it was just...
You have some experience with that.
Well, my sweet daughter and I, we share a saw room where we have sex with people and torture them.
Yeah.
How fun, I mean, obviously you two get along so well. How fun has it been to sort of explore that backstory, the Pam and Eric?
We waited a while for that.
We did.
And kept asking for years, so what's our story? They'd never tell us. It was so fun to read it. And I kept picturing it in my mind, and then I'm having wardrobe fittings for 1905, and
You got that corset, by the way.
and seriously, small waist.
Couldn't breathe for 3 days.
So worth it.
You look amazing.
Daddy knows how to talk to his daughter. Daddy Skarsgard. So it was so much fun, and also my making. I thought the writing was so brilliant to support what we know in the scene of Pam, and why she's so sort of unsympathetic and happy to be a vampire, and also this is her one person. So, yeah, I just loved it.
And I've pretty much been gone for 2 years, 2 seasons. I haven't been in Fantasia much, so...
Yeah, we haven't...
I love the authority and all that stuff, but it was really, really nice to have a couple scenes together. Those, and also the moment when I come back down to the sorrow when I release her on wood. Yeah, it was. Kristin Bauer and Straten is crying now. It was tough.
I almost refused to shoot. I don't want to be released. I'm not gonna do it. I cried when I read it at the table read and the rehearsal when the camera was on my back.
But then when it was your close-up, nothing.
Yeah, it's really lovely to get to work with someone that you like and you care about. We have such a lucky group. It really is amazing. I mean, you all know working with someone that you love and somebody that is a pain in your ass, it makes the day very different. So we're very lucky, and as an actor, I always look at first what I can borrow from how I really feel, and then what I have to, invent in my mind. And so, the release scene was easier for me to be emotional. I just think of Alex, and so it's really, really lucky that this is my maker.
Aww.
Sort of connected to that, Rutina, how you felt playing, Tara, this is such a different Tara. How have you felt with this sort of transformation?
It's awesome. Because I totally have gotten to sort of recreate Tara, but keep the essence of Tara at the same time. Now she has this incredible strength that she's not even sure of yet. She's a little off, she kind of shot in the head, so she's like, I don't know what's going on, but she kind of like starts to get it. And I think, having Pam as a maker to look after her and sort of show her the ropes, she sees a whole different side of Pam, and I think that sort of warms her in the heart to see someone care for her and truly take care of her. Her life is unsaved, whether she wants to admit it or not. She's still, not living, but among, she's. No, I've had a great time. It's been an incredible journey, and I would have never thought if you asked me 4 years ago where my character would go, would never have thought that she would return. So it was the most awesome thing to happen. Terrifying, but awesome. Yeah.
Alan, when did you guys decide? Did you think going into season 4, like at the end of season 4, we're going to turn Tara, or we would set up her being turned?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we had the story of a young vampire with Jessica, but we thought, what if you took somebody who really, really hated vampires and with a very good reason and turned them to vampire? How that's got to be much different and much harder, and it just seemed like it would open up a lot more doors, storytelling-wise, for Tara. So we always knew.
Rutina, what was that? I feel like, for me, so many scenes on True Blood, I'm like, oh my god, that's so gross, I can't believe they did that. The tanning bed thing, was that just like the grossest thing? Also, Kristin, you could probably relate with your, when you were deteriorating last season. Did you all talk about, deteriorating flesh and how to deal with it?
No, it is kind of gross. I remember I kept passing by mirrors going, what? That's me, I'm in makeup. It's fine, we're good. But it's fun. It's like that's
It is.
It's my
It's really
favorite
fun.
thing, right? Like putting on.
I thought that it was fun to be rotting and, you know, give up vanity altogether, get a little reprieve from it, and also I like the process. I find it fascinating. I like...
Week 3, did you still like the process?
No. That's, you know, at a certain point, I wanted to be able to see out of both eyes, and so 5 hours sitting in a chair with 3 grown men fascinated with just this part of me. But I like that stuff for 3 weeks.
I mean, do you guys ever get grossed out though? I mean, do you ever, have there been moments this season where you're, or not even this season, you know, over the course of the last 5, where you're like, whoa, like, no, I mean.
I don't know if we do anymore.
Stephen, remember, I don't know, season 1, at the very end of the season, when you got burned, and Stephen was walking around, we were outside, we were shooting where we shoot, and it was really disturbing. And I remember you wanted to have lunch or something, and I couldn't have lunch with you. It was really disturbing seeing your head like that. When
we did that stuff, Anna wouldn't even look at me, would you?
Anna didn't talk to me either that whole time.
But it was in its kind of infancy. They didn't quite know how that makeup was going to work, so we had 3 different looks: the first burn look, then the second burn look, and then the third crispy barbecue look. And but it was all one piece, one neck piece, one face piece, one head piece, and it then takes 2.5 hours to get it off. And it genuinely horrific, kind of just like people scraping away at your faces like they're trying to get wallpaper off, you know. But they got better at it. So when they did Russell in season 3, they just put a piece on at a time. So they've got better and better at getting it off, haven't they, basically?
Yeah.
It's taken a while.
Yeah.
But it really looks disgusting.
Yeah.
It's not appetizing.
I probably shouldn't tell you, Anna, that I still have pieces of Pam in my office. I saved them. I have my ear.
So what about your lips?
I have part of my lip.
You did have that piece of the lip with me, didn't you?
Yeah, I love that scene.
I was so...
Yeah, it was so fun.
I think we're gonna open it up to the audience. So,
Hello, big time fan, and my quick question is for Alan Ball. At the end of the book 5, they introduced the were-tiger. Are we going to see
As of now, there are no plans for that, but I am stepping back from running the show, and I'm leaving the reins in the hands of a very good writer named Mark Hudis and several of the same writers, and they may choose otherwise.
Oh, good afternoon, panel. Chris, Detective Stabler was absolutely one of my most favorite characters of all time. For years, I don't understand why. But my question is, would you be willing to return for the Special Victims Unit series finale, whenever the hell that happens?
I'm always willing to consider. You know, I had 12 great years on that show, and I loved the people, and I loved the show, and I loved playing that character. So, you know, there's no bad blood there. It's, you know, we'll see as it comes. You know, it's, I don't know, it's still doing okay, I guess. You know. So, well, thanks for saying.
Hi, I'm such a fan of the show. Question is, can you tease romantic relationships, new relationships, maybe? And Alex, I love you. Any chance I can get your signed name card? I'm in trouble?
Oh, you're in trouble.
Can you tease any loving stuff?
What? Oh, this one.
Oh.
Yes.
Signed in blood.
Anyone else?
Answer to the question.
The new relationship.
Yeah, that's the second part of your question.
I want that. Oh, sorry. Oh God. I guess. Well, wait.
Yeah. Regarding new romances, yes, I can think of 3 that are going to happen. 3 new romances this season. That doesn't mean that there's also a lot of other people having sex, but those don't really count as romances.
Word. All right, go ahead.
Hi, I noticed that Joe retweeted a link to Azealia Banks' new mixtape, and I thought that was awesome because I'm a big fan of her too. So I was wondering, what are you guys listening to nowadays?
What kind of music are you all listening to?
I like Diane Ward, the South African rapper. They're pretty dope.
Martin Sexton is my favorite musician.
Nobody knows him.
Tool. I listen to Tool. I'm a big Tool.
I like Death Cab for Cutie.
Twin Shadow's new album is pretty good.
My husband, Aubrey von Straten.
We've been listening to the Eddie Vedder ukulele album.
I've been listening to this group called Galaga.
Oh, Ryan, you.
With Aussie artists called Angus and Julia Stone.
All right, next question.
Hi, I'm actually a really big fan of the series and the book. This question is for Alan. You're bringing the fairies back in. What are the chances of us seeing the fairy war in the series?
Well, I know that we have at least 1, possibly 2 more seasons, possibly 3 for all I know, of the show going forward. So I would